and we're going to be focusing on the tech panel, which is covering the topic Unlocking Africa's Prosperity through Innovative Technology. Now, in this enlightening panel discussion, we are going to delve into the transformative power of technology as a catalyst for Africa, for Nigeria's economic growth and societal advancement. Our distinguished panelists, comprising of visionary tech leaders, entrepreneurs, and industry experts, will unravel the potential of innovative solutions in various sectors from fintech to agri-tech to health tech and beyond. As we navigate the digital landscape, we aim to uncover the strategies, the collaborations, the policies that will harness the full potential of technology, fostering prosperity and shaping a brighter future for the continent. Join us on this journey of discovery and insight into the pivotal role of technology in driving Africa's sustainable development and unlocking new realms of possibility. Now, to introduce the next set of panelists, I'm starting with our moderator. Actually, you know what? Let's switch it up this time around. I'm going to end with the moderator this time around. Mr. Akeem Lawal is a founding management executive at Interswitch Group, who currently leads the payments processing division. He oversees a business line that contributes approximately half of the group's revenue. With over 23 years of expertise in electronic payments, payments technology, strategy, and business management, Mr. Lawal played a pivotal role as the head of the engineering team responsible for constructing the Interswitch SuperSwitch infrastructure. And if you live in Nigeria, there's no way you have not heard about Interswitch. Now, he has also been instrumental in the fintech revolution in Africa, co-founding the first African fintech unicorn and actively supporting fintech companies across the continent. Currently, he serves as a member of the Governing Council of the Fintech Association of Nigeria. If we're talking about technology, this is somebody that definitely needs and deserves to be on the panel. If you can put your hands together for the managing executive at Interswitch Pure Pay, Mr. Akeem Lawal. Put your hands together for him as he makes his way to the stage. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate your time. Moving on to our next speaker, Mr. Chijioke Dozie is the co-founder of Carbon Digital Bank, which is transforming African banking with credit-centric digital products, payments, and high-yield investments. Chijioke was previously Chijioke was previously an investment professional at the International Finance Corporation, also known as the IFC, and is responsible for sourcing investment opportunities in sub-Saharan Africa and co-founded Nigeria's first distressed equity fund, KASSF, securing $20 million from the International Finance Corporation. Through his vast experience, Mr. Chijioke has invested in agribusiness, financial services, and retail sectors in Nigeria, Ghana, Rwanda, and Kenya. Please put your hands together for the co-founder of Carbon Digital Bank, Mr. Chijioke Dozie. Please put your hands together for him as he makes his way to the stage. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate your time as well. All right, then. We're moving on to our next panelist, Ifeoma Udo. Ifeoma is a social entrepreneur and the founder of the first fintech for women in Nigeria. The first fintech for women in Nigeria. The first fintech for women in Nigeria. You know, we're about 200 million. So the first fintech for about 100 million people for women focused in Nigeria. Please put your hands together for her. Now, her career experience spans over a decade in strategy consulting, analytics, and seed funding for notable companies such as PwC, Iroko Partners Limited. Since its launch in 2019, she has become has become a UK tech hub company, and the company was one of 13 companies selected for the NASDAQ Milestone Makers focused on reducing inequalities. You can tell that she's a woman that takes charge. She didn't even wish, say, yes, that's me. She made her way straight to the stage. But please put your hands together for her, even as she's beautifully seated and ready to give this panel all she has. Now, we still have two more people. The next person is joining us virtually, and I really do appreciate those that can be here and those who have taken out time to also join us. And it's interesting, we're talking about technology, so thank God for technology, right? Udoka Uzoka is the founder and CEO of Intelia, a software company that serves as NASDAQ's governance solution implementation partner. His expertise lies leading startups to profitability and navigating the complex software industry. Early in his career, Mr. Udoka co-founded Cubix.co, an application development firm based in New York. With his guidance, the firm developed applications used by millions and serviced top-tier clients like Walmart, Sony, and Canon. Later, he established Kinetic Base, focusing on innovative banking solutions, notably developing a patent-pending technology for computerized debit cards. With a proven track record in tech-driven transformations, Udoka is adept to leveraging technological advancements to scale operations, enhance efficiencies, and drive sustainable growth. If you could just put him on the screen, he's joining us virtually. But please put your hands together for Mr. Udoka Uzoka, who is the founder of Intelia. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate your time and your virtual presence. Now I'm going to call on the moderator for this panel session. I'm talking about Ada Irikefe. I hope I pronounced that right. Ada is an impactful and socially intelligent leader with over 25 years of experience in delivering sustainable growth for organizations in the following verticals across telecoms, consulting, IT, financial services, and sales. She currently serves as an associate director and currently oversees the experience consulting and disruption practice at the PwC Experience Centre here in Nigeria. The Experience Centre, which is a collaborative space and home to emerging technologies and innovation, of which she and a select team set up in 2019. She also doubles as the Chief of Staff to the West Market Regional Senior Partner for PwC. Ada is a mentor at WIMBIZ, as well as the Sickle Cell Youth Empowerment Group. She's also the chairperson for the Bantu Blockchain Foundation, a blockchain-based financial inclusion solution developed to reorientate Africa and help people towards technology aligned with the spirit of sharing and equality. Rocking our famous Adire print, making her way to the stage. Please put your hands together for our moderator for this session, Ada Irikefe, who is the Associate Director for PwC Nigeria. A round of applause for her as she takes it away. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Dear panelists, good afternoon, everyone. Unfortunately, I busted my knee coming here, so I can't sit that low, so please pardon me. Thank you. Otherwise, we may need a crane to get me up here. So thank you very much and welcome everyone to the tech session. When we say tech, a lot of people just think it has to be hardcore technology, but I think we've gone past that, right? It's nice to see Ifoma, Udoka when he comes up, Akeem and Chi goes there. Oh, Chijoke, I'm sorry. Thank you. Okay, so I just want to start off. First of all, listening to your profiles, I realized that all of you have won the founder t-shirt or are still wearing the founder's t-shirt. So well done to Zini for the attention to detail in selecting the panelists. And to the audience, I would say this is an opportunity for you to tap into the wealth of experience and insight Ifoma, Akeem, Chijoke, and Undoka will be bringing to bear today. I want to start off by just setting the scene. And the scene here is Africa, our beloved Africa. 1.3 billion people, 54 diverse states. At the crossroad is transformation. So unless you've been living under a rock, transformation is occurring every single way sphere in our daily lives, corporates, name it. Whether we like it or not, transformation, whether it's business, whether it's digital, is being powered by technology. And technology is here to stay. Fortunately, unfortunately. Beyond enabling, say, for instance, the financial services, which I think majority of my panelists belong to, we would like to deep dive into how innovative technology has also transformed workforce development, investments, trade, job creation, and more importantly, government policies. Where Nigeria is currently playing, I think Nigeria embraces the diversity and dynamism of the continent. And it's a good thing for us, it's a good thing to drive, and it's a good thing for us to showcase to not just Africa, but also the world. Okay, thank you. All right. So I'm going to start off by delving into the role of innovative technology as it impacts our workforce development and employment in Africa. We currently have about 60% of Africans below the age of 25, which should ideally mean that we should have a thriving economy. We should also have a thriving workforce. Dare I say, it's not exactly the case. The beauty of digital skill is that it's bridging that gap. But how well is it bridging that gap? So to start off with, I would like to ask Chijoke. Chijoke, you have invested in multiple companies. You have hired talents across Africa. I want to ask, with your experience working with young and enterprising Africans on the ventures you currently run, what are some of the advancements that you are seeing take place in Africa in the areas of youth, employment, and productivity as a result of the proliferation of technology as we see it today? Chijoke.
Thank you. I think we're seeing people be more proactive about, their work opportunities and education available to them. I mean, with technology, technology has opened up, more virtual universities than there is available. So platforms like Coursera, Udemy, Udacity has, enabled young people to learn new skills and new courses. So think software engineering, think SQL, data science, digital marketing. And when you look at, 10 years ago, 2010, 2012, the job prospects for certain people were very limited. You're either going to go into the big four, the banking sector, oil and gas, telecoms, and not much there.
Yeah.
Now you still have those, but you have software engineering, both in Nigeria or anywhere in the world. I mean, we have lost a lot of our talent to some of the biggest fintech startups in the world, Revolut, Nubank, etc. Some actually leaving Nigeria and going over there. Some actually working for these companies in Nigeria. Then you have digital marketing, social media planners, etc. So that has all been possible because of technology, because of the availability of courses, as well as I think COVID helped in the sense that it has changed the nature of work. People don't need to be they don't need to be physically located where they're working. So that has opened up the opportunities for African youths to basically compete globally.
Great response. In addition to that, I would also say that technology has become, or rather, having digital skills have become so prevalent that it doesn't really matter where you are. I work for PwC, and in the past, maybe about 15 years ago, you had to have an accounting background. I don't have an accounting background. But right now, it's just open doors. PwC, the Experience Centre, the kind of people we have there are not your regular, I'm on camera, are not your regular employees, PwC employees, because we want to encourage that level of creativity, and we have identified that by creating that level of creativity, you need to give them freedom to, should I say, to roam. So to Ifeoma, just piggybacking on what Chijioke has said around the digital skills and what we can do with the digital skills, what's your opinion around what innovative solutions, how innovative solutions can actually contribute to upskilling our youth? So to add the extra layer to that whilst you're trying to get your mind, I know that the World Economic Forum releases a future of work report regularly. And part of it, they talk about the critical skills to have and critical technologies. AI obviously is smack bang in our face. If you're not aware of AI, all the news around Sam and his cohorts hopefully would have brought that to the fore. So how can we enhance the skills in our environment to uplift our employment?
So when we talk about technology skills and how to enhance it, I noticed that starting early makes a difference. So making sure that even in our curriculum, from whether the primary schools and stuff, people get the opportunity to experience technology very early.
Yeah.
So I, for instance, I went to Futo to study computer science, and by third year I was writing Fortran and Basic, and I knew that, man, there's a problem. So I changed to mathematics, so I majored in mathematics. So people that graduated from math and computer and majored in computer science, some of them they never touched a computer. So making sure that, I know two things. One is early skills. The other one is access to infrastructure to also make sure that more people get access to infrastructure. That's something else. Then information. How do we sell technology? So when I hear many people communicate about technology to people that don't have the privilege to be in this room, it always sounds like rocket science. How do we make technology, how do we show them that they've also been using technology for a long time and it can be a tool to make their life better? So I was reading a research where a research that they were doing to find out how technology will reduce what's they called time poverty for women in developing areas like India, and they found out that just giving them washing machine, getting a robot to sweep the house, how do we start inspiring people to start to communicate that technology is basically automating your everyday actions in a way that it reduces or it makes life better for you, because that's the way it is. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ifoma. And I like what you just said about using technology in our day-to-day. So it's not necessarily when you are boxed into a room that you're using technology. My mother uses, even though she doesn't realize she's using technology, she's using technology. Just simple, your bank transfers, that's technology. Just to demystify technology. So I would like to just quickly run to investment and trade in Africa. So according to the ADB, intra-Africa trade accounts for about 14 to 18% of the continent's total trade. That for us is massive opportunity. Now, we know that policy-backed technology interventions are effective at facilitating cross-border transaction. Mr. Kim, I'm looking at you, and boosting economic integration. So, Mr. Kim, you have seen businesses and industries across the continent move from the traditional to digital. I know that when I was reading up about my panelists, I came across a statement from you. You attended the International Trade Seminar. I think that took place this year. And you had mentioned that business can only achieve greater stride if they embrace digitization. Am I correct? Okay. Now, if we bring this closer to home, streamlining it to your industry, what role can innovative technologies play in attracting FDIs to African countries and industry? Again, to what Ifoma has said, how can we make technology more pervasive? How can we start from grassroots? And maybe we might need some form of funding, but how do we position ourselves?
Thank you so much for the question, but I really must thank Ezine for inviting me. It was a struggle to come, but I'm so glad that I came. I've learned a lot from the first two panels, and I'm really excited to be here. Technology is transforming the world, right? It's a given, right? One of the comments I made in the trade fair or the seminar that you mentioned is that the organizations of the future are the ones that are able to use technology to transform the businesses that they do. And it doesn't matter where you are, from small businesses to large multinational corporations. If you're not transforming your business using technology, you will not be relevant in the next few years. It's just that simple. And there are maybe 4 or 5 technologies that are key in that journey. The first will be mobile. You need to take your business to mobile as a channel for reaching the millions of customers who you are trying to reach. The second will be data, access to the large pool of information that is just available all over the world, right? Consolidates that into big data. And then the third is social media, right? Organizations of the future have to play in social media. And then the fourth, which is probably a little bit more trendy, is artificial intelligence, right? And then you can add in the blockchain. To your question, my view is for Nigerians to attract, and any African country to attract the investments, we need to take those technologies and create solutions that solve real-life problems on the continent, right? And this is already happening, right? And I mean, one example, carbon, solving the problem in digital lending to bring finance to millions of Nigerians. Another is the payments technologies that Interswitch is providing. But even if you look at the fintech ecosystem, over the last, I think, 2 years, the estimate is that over $3 billion worth of investment have come into this market, just on the back of using technology solutions to solve problems in payments, right? And that's happening across the continent, whether it's Nigeria, whether it's Kenya, whether it's Egypt, wherever, right? And I think that's the first step, is how do we take, and I like where the question started from, how do you take those skill sets that we build as Nigerians, convert that into solutions to problems using those technologies, solve those problems in a way that you can then attract the investment and the investors. And it's really just that simple. And there's so many examples. So to find motivation to do it is not really difficult, I don't think.
Fantastic. Solve real life problems, and then we would attract the necessary investments. In addition to what you have just said, there has to be an aspect of governance, right? I always say that the amount of data we have out there, what are people doing with this data? Well, maybe that's an opportunity. I don't think we have really harnessed what we have, the value we have. And truth be told, we don't want to wait for some people to come and tell us how best we can use the data we have on ground. So, is Uzoka on?
Yes, I am.
Great, Uzoka, welcome. So I'd like to tilt towards governance and leadership. So we know that digital governance is a must, and literally every, hi Uzoka, and literally every single nation is tightening the bolt around that, because we also know that as good as technology is, there's some bad sides to it. I also think that for us to attract the necessary investment, our governance has to be top-notch. My question to you would be, I know that you manage a portfolio of companies, and just reading what you've done in the past, we know that the region, Africa, Nigeria, can gain significant market advantage, right? Due to support of, or as a result of support of the government. We have seen it out there in the US, for instance, Tesla, how the government has actually backed what they think is a really good deal. Just government support. How can we bring this closer to home? How can we embrace technology or leverage on technology to create transparency, efficiency, and productivity that would attract the FDIs that we talked about earlier? So we have the solutions now, but what sort of government support, or what can the government do better in helping us to position ourselves better?
Thanks for that question. I think in addressing that question, we should look at the root cause of the distrust between investors, government, and other participants in the economic roundtable. And that goes to show that, one, the government as we know it has a poor reputation of being transparent. There's always some shroud or cloak of secrecy. And in order for the government to begin to earn the trust of foreign direct investors, the trust of local participants, businesses here in Nigeria, and I'm speaking generally across the African continent, there has to be a show of faith using technology to drive transparency. One of the ways that I think they can do that is simply by implementing tools and technologies that would allow business to be done easier than it is currently done. Say, started with business registration, for example, filing your taxes, understanding requirements for licensing and the cost of licensing, and being able to apply for these things in a very clear manner and have the expectation that you receive, information, you receive your licenses at when due. So the government can begin by doing some type of digital transformation of their government services to make sure that services are easily accessible and people can, at the comfort of their homes, for example, begin to access those offerings. And the other thing that I believe is critical, still talking about trust, is having some type of e-governance framework that showcases what the government is doing in a very transparent manner, thereby publishing budgets online, publishing policies in a very clear manner that isn't cloudy and is digestible by everybody, and it's not subject to multiple layers of interpretation. So if I am an outsider looking to invest in Nigeria, I'm looking to invest in the extractive industry, for example. What are the
You're frozen? Hi, Uzoka, can you hear me? Technology. Okay, I'm just going to ask you a question that would hopefully help Uzoka land. And my question would be, Sheikh Kludesh, right, is largely focused on women empowerment. Now, just riding on what Uzoka said, what role, right, can the government play in fostering inclusive innovation? Yes, and ensuring that technology benefits everyone being rural and urban, inclusive.
Okay, so Sheikh Kludesh is focused on finance for women. And I don't know why I don't like the term women empowerment. I think it makes me always feel that, I don't know, it just makes me feel iffy.
What should it be?
So just going to it. When I started Sheikh Kludesh, I started it because I looked at data. Nigeria had 50% of the population, approximately women. And if you check the data of those that go to, and so if you look at where women started, it was that initially they didn't used to go to school, then they started going to school. And if you look at some universities in the West, they said the highest number of MBAs engineering have now become women. So when I looked at the data for health insurance, for loan, for investing, they were not getting the funding. And I just felt, gender neutral, the statistics shows that, there's something here, and I started it. In terms of what the government can do to be able to create a more inclusive policy that, with the help of technology, is one, to understand why it is important. So it's not it's not we have to be politically correct. We have to be seen right. It's to understand that we're at the moment in history where we can't, as a nation, the workforce can't fend for the rest. We can see it in the bad roads, in the infrastructure, and if it continues this way, we're in trouble. So how do we get an idle workforce that has the capacity to be able to deliver, to be integrated comfortably, and to be delivering very well? So I think that's the first thing. Understanding at that level is the first thing, being very transparent as to why it's very important. Secondly, I feel that there should be a lot of learning, because it's a new situation. I see people sitting down in offices, and I was in G20 for W20, which is the G20 initiatives for countries in G20, to say, come up with policies that we can help implement in the G20 countries for women. So it was very insightful to see very intentional focus group efforts to be able to get from underground to say, how do we use technology? What are the ways we can disrupt, include, capture value from this set of people? So that's another thing. Very intentional, going to the ground roots, going to the key players.
Funds,
to be able to
locally to internationally. What are the policies guiding that, and can I have a sandbox?
Hi, Uzoka. We lost you for a couple of minutes, not seconds.
Oh my.
So if I was just helping you to round up. Yeah, you done? Hi, Uzoka, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm done, but I'm not sure what you caught, and you know what I just kept on rambling on without the audience hearing.
Okay. Thanks, Uzoka. Can you hear me clearly, though? Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Okay, all right. Sound coming from you. It's a little bit muffled. Okay, thanks, Ifoma. What I hear you say, it's we should move beyond women empowerment. I think women have been empowered. Well, we also need to be continually be empowered across board, not just, I would rather say youth empowerment rather than women. But hey, she included is all about women.
No, I have the right term, which is women-led development.
Fantastic.
So the campaign have moved from women empowerment to how do we get women-led development to play a critical role in getting more people out of poverty.
Fantastic. You heard it here, women-led development, fantastic. And I want to believe, I think everyone who's sitting here has great, great, great ideas, but how do we roll these ideas up? I'm hoping that this new ministry, Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy, I think the minister seems to be lending his ears. The question is, do we have the right funnel where all these suggestions, your wealth of expertise, can roll up to him? Food for thought, if he's listening. Okay, just finally, I've been signaled that we don't have a lot of time, but I would like to talk around business operation and export. And find digitization with, I think it's gained momentum in Africa, like it's been mentioned. Agility, efficiency, you know, the necessary buzzwords are required to compete in the market. I would like to ask Chijioke, comparing the revenue potential of Nigeria to the actual value we derive from exports, right? A lot of work needs to be done. Do you agree? To move us forward, to move the economy forward. What innovative strategies can Nigerian businesses employ to navigate the complex regulatory landscape and improve our export capabilities?
Is this a technology question?
It is a technology. I'm talking about innovation. So it's technology and innovation.
I mean, you know.
You stop.
I mean, let me stick to my knittings, which is like technology, and you know, I would say that, you know, I'll use Carbon as an example.
Okay.
We're a digital bank. We have hundreds of thousands of users. We've had over 5 million people download our app, but we've only raised about $15 million. When you look at companies like us in the West, they've raised $100, $200 million, and the revenue profile is maybe similar to us or a little bit more. I think that a lot of African tech companies, we're very good at adversity because we have no choice. And so we're very rugged, we're very practical. We don't really waste much money, contrary to what people might think in the media. And there's an opportunity, I think, for African companies, from a technology perspective, to actually support bigger Western companies. We're seeing it in software engineering. We're seeing it in, business process outsourcing. From a technology perspective, I think we could do more in exporting our services for other companies. And in terms of, actually, let me just stop there. So let me not talk out of my sphere of competence.
Thank you so much. Akeem, do you want to? Thank you.
Yeah, I'm not going to answer the question. I'm very happy. I'm very happy you directed it at Chijioke. But I did want to make a point, right? I think when you started, you said intra-Africa trade is about 16% of total trade.
Sure.
For Nigeria, it is less than 10%, right? Which means that most of the trade that we do as Nigeria is actually to Europe, to West, to China, right? We're not tapping as much into that opportunity of trade on the continent with ourselves. And if you listen to, I think, the first panel, they kind of give a lot of reasons why. The logistics infrastructure is one of the areas where we need to find innovative solutions to solve. I know from the work that we are doing as Interswitch and many of the partners in the fintech ecosystem, there are two parts of that value chain that we are already providing technology solutions to solve. The first is sales, right? Online marketplaces, digital marketplaces where you can take your goods, your services, and display it and make it available to others on the continent, and they can see what you're selling and they can buy, whether digital goods or physical goods, right? That's there. The second is payments, right? People from any part of Africa can potentially pay you. We still need to solve the dollar problem, which is work that we are doing as Interswitch to create a Pan-African payment system that does not require any country or central bank to look for dollars. But we will eventually crack the payments problem. But I think where most of the innovation challenge for us as a continent now is to solve some of those fundamental problems around logistics, around trade barriers, around import-export rules, right? I do know that AfroExim and the AFCTA is doing quite a lot of work. I think learning from what they have done from a policy perspective and then finding technology solutions to implement that could really be very powerful opportunities for any of the startups who are listening.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Akeem. I've been told that my time is up. I think, the future is bright. The future is bright for technology. We all just need to be open-minded. We also need to contribute in our own little way to just reshape Africa and Nigeria as a whole. Thank you very much. Thank you, panelists. Thank you, Uzoka. Thank you. Not sure what time it is at your end, but good morning, good afternoon. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Please put your hands together for them. We're just going to have a mini photo session, as is tradition, here at the Mental Matchup Challenge 5.0. We get 30 seconds to take photos, videos, and our media team get to it.